What's up out there, YouTube? This is your boy Joe Justice 030.
Dang, he caught me off the break. This is SEL 0320.
Yeah.
We representing JBS,
JBS,
and we are back for another season review. We've been trucking along. I've been jumping ship, trucking along with Joe. You saw his reaction to the Red Wedding. Hopefully y'all enjoyed that. I think like 1,000 y'all looked at it, and a lot of y'all commented. Thanks for the help and support through the 9th episode, and as well as a lot of things that happened in this season. We're going to kind of overview season 3 of Game of Thrones, highlight some big points, and then tell you, I guess, a number rating for this season in general. But it was a solid season. A lot of things happened. This is probably the darkest season yet that we have seen, because you get the understanding that there's a lot of people that want to, purge for vengeance, that want to go and take retribution. But then you understanding that there's a leniency when it comes to justice. People that are good, 9 times out of 10, they're going to get destroyed. People that have like aspirations for something get cut down. And we see that in people like Robb Stark. We see that in people like Tyrion. We see that in people like Arya. All these people, either they die or they've lost something desperately. And it's to me, it's one of the darkest shows I think I've ever seen, to be quite real. But at the same time, it's really inspiring. It's really story driven, and it's really intricate, because I didn't expect for them to add so many characters to make it flow so seamlessly. It's like, there's a real history with every person they add on. So it's like when people get added in, like, you really enjoy it. At the same as that time, you're like, man, this means somebody could die, essentially. So what were some of the takes that you enjoyed about this season, Joe?
What I enjoyed about this season was the fact that they went from like 10 to like 100. And what I mean by that, guys, is basically they took the scale of like what I was prepared for and then just escalated that exponentially. So I mean, season 1 caught me completely off guard by the finale of season 1. Mm-hmm. And then in season 3, they took what I've experienced with season 1, and just like, you thought that was something, bro, that's nothing. Mm-hmm. And basically that's how I felt. So I mean, I'm talking to like some of my coworkers, man. They're like, so you getting caught up on Game of Thrones? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, immediately they talk about, so you watched the Red Wedding, right? It was like, yeah, dude. But I mean, that's like that has to be probably the most impactful part of the series thus far for me.
I won't even just say this series. I mean, out of any show that I've really seen, I've seen Game of Thrones now. I've seen Breaking Bad. I've seen Walking Dead. I've seen S.H.I.E.L.D. I've seen Rescue Me. I've seen all the kind of shows that are story driven but have like harsh undertones, and anything could happen at any moment. That thing that happened was so unjust, so heinous, and so dark that it affected me for at least 24 hours. For you, it was like, what, 3 days? You didn't watch any episode for like 3 days straight? I mean, anything that can do that and make you care about people, and for them to get torn down, is doing its complete job. Like, there's movies that don't even do that. So, I mean, that was definitely one of the highlights of this. But even when you got characters like Khaleesi that came from nothing, that came from basically getting tortured by her brother, raped by a man that she married, and then to thrive in the way that she is, to finding eggs, to finding dragon eggs, to raising these dragons, to now creating an empire. Like,
yeah, she's bad news. Like,
not bad news. That one episode though,
she's graduate. I mean, before I liked her character, but now she's like, okay, she's might be one of my favorite characters. Because I mean, just by what she's accomplished in this season, to where she's taken over two kingdoms. Yeah, she's taken over 2 kingdoms.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, wow, that's That's impressive.
But I mean, even the means of how she does it, though.
Yeah.
Because it's like
her support she has.
Yeah,
she
got a really well-rounded team, and people aspire to follow her.
Yes.
I mean, she's got dragons, but that's not reason why people follow her. You know what I'm saying? More so enemies. That's the reason why they are clung to her. Because the guy, he had an army of unsullied guys that have been castrated, basically torn down to nothing. And she does one of the most genius things I think I've ever seen. She goes to them, she talks to them. The guy's speaking in French the whole entire time, talking terrible about her. And then he's like, only way you're going to get these 8,000 men is I went for one of your dragons. She's like, everybody was like, why would you do that? She gives him the dragon. She puts it on like a pipe, kind of like what you would give somebody that has like a dog, a little leash. And he starts like, oh, it's yours. He gives her like the baton to command the army. She knows the language. She commands them to kill all the masters that put them in that situation. And then she talks to the biggest dragon. Oh yeah, breathe fire. Burns the man alive and then walks out. I was like, yo, it doesn't get no more savage than that. But I mean, you got other characters too that are thriving. Like Jon Snow with the wildlings, he's put in a very hard situation. Actually, all the crows really are. Because Sam, he was the first one in the first episode. He barely makes it out alive against one of the White Walkers. And then for him to get the girl back that was doing that with his own daughter, it was a lot of harsh and terrible things that were happening. Matter of fact, the way that it ends off is even worse because Jon is put in a compromised situation with somebody he loves now. And it's like, it's going to be interesting to see where that kind of pulls from. But to me, Jon and Tyrion are two of my favorite characters, period. When I'm actually starting season 4 now, and I love Tyrion even more. But I mean, I think I started seeing the fact that, man, there's no one like Tyrion's character on the show, honestly, in a lot of different respects. But in this season, he's basically been disgraced by Joffrey 24/7. His own wedding, like they picked at him, you know what I'm saying? And the thing that I'll say about that, even though he gets picked at, even though he gets talked down about, he always has the next word. He'll get his word in, and he doesn't care who it is, especially Joffrey. I think on occasion he's threatened the man's life. It's like, step. I don't care what you are, youngin' or whatever. And so I love his character. I love his boldness, and he's just smart, man. Like he can out-talk anybody, to be quite honest with you. And so it's really sad and hard, his situation that he's in, because he has to marry Sansa. And Sansa is just kind of like suffering, essentially, because she has to stay with these Lannisters. But the thing about it is, he's suffering too, because her person that's her maiden is the person he's in love with. And she was a prostitute initially. And she doesn't want to let go of him, but he knows he has to let go of her because his dad, Tywin, will kill her, like he did the last one. And it's it's a dramatic kind of relationship. And it's like, I wouldn't want that kind of situation, period. You know? And so it's a lot of dynamics in the show that are really good. And it's hard for me to sit there and remember because I'm on season 4 now. But you got any final closing thoughts before we give a rating for it?
Shoot. Closing thoughts. This season, Tywin Lannister, I mean, he's a really good villain. I really enjoy watching him pretty much like enter a room, like, because everybody just like freezes up. And you can tell like this guy's, you know what I'm saying, everybody's shook by this guy.
He's got authority.
Exactly.
Without real practical authority.
And he doesn't even have to say anything. You like, and the dude, like, that's how like powerful this guy is. And it's just like, yo, like, as far as a villain, I mean, he does do some like a lot of douchebag things, but I really like.
He does everything bad.
I really like his character though.
You're the only person I know that says that.
I really like his character.
Because I mean, the thing is, like, he knows he runs Joffrey. Real talk.
Oh yeah.
Like he knows that. I mean, Joffrey can say what he wants, and he could be like, "Oh yeah, you need to go and die" or something like that. Nah, that wouldn't fly with him.
I mean, also think about too, like, if Tywin's presence was not in this series, how much different would that world be? You know what I'm saying? Because he does a lot of his actions have shaped like the world we see in Game of Thrones now, like by a long shot.
I mean, that's why the Red Wedding happened. He orchestrated it.
Yeah, so
on the cut.
Yeah, so there's a lot of. I mean, this guy has his hands pretty much in everything, low key, and he's crazy. Probably one of my favorite characters.
I mean, I'll say this though. This is just kind of like a kind of a small parallel. Out of all the siblings, and Jaime, I'm liking Jaime more and more. Jaime got his freaking hand cut off. He got disgraced. He upheld his honor in protecting the girl that captured him. Now, the queen, she lost her control over Joffrey. You know what I'm saying? She's just evil, but it's by a byproduct because of her dad. To me, Tywin, in comparison to his dad, he's the only one that I can really see that exhibits a lot of that authoritative presence. Even though he's short, the things that he can do and the things that he does, to me, directly parallel his dad. I can see him being a leader before all the rest of his siblings.
Oh, definitely.
And the thing is, like, even though with his presence and his stature, it really doesn't mean anything. Like, when you started describing it when Tywin walks in, I was thinking about, like, Tyrone. So, I mean, that's the thing that I really like about the series. It's like, Tywin blames his youngest son for his wife's death. And so does the sister. But at the same time, he like he said to him, I let you live because you still have my name. And I think that, all honesty, low key, he knows that he's the smartest of all his children. And he has this different kind of presence about him.
He definitely knows. I mean, yeah. We could talk. Oh, yeah. I mean, even the siege, that changed the way I looked at his character.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
But anyway, so what do you give it for a rating?
I had to give it a 10. I had to give it a 10.
So wait, what did you give the second season?
I don't know.
You gave the first season a 10.
I probably gave both of them a 10. Like, if I can give this an 11, I would. I would.
Alright, you already know. I told y'all last video, I gave this season a 10. Like, I mean, hands down, this changed the game for TV shows in general. Not just for the series, it changed the game for TV shows in general. So, that was our review for season 3 of Game of Thrones. We gotta catch up and do some more episode watching before Flash comes on tonight. Keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. Y'all have a blessing. Peace. Bye.